Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
She's draining him. Wow. Wow.
Horse is like, got to be more careful.
Wow.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Syntell with the Intel, and I'm here with the beautiful Mikel Claire.
You almost caught me slipping there.
Yeah, that's what I do. I catch folks slipping. Episode 4. Listen, don't get caught slipping and catch up with the first 3 episodes with the link in the description. And of course, give us those thumbs up because that's how the people know you're digging what we're giving you. So with that being said, let's get started. I know, right? Crescendo!
The Ruthless Pursuit of Blood with all a child's demanding. Goodness, they got full tongue twisters.
I mean, we can do a chapter in Vanity Fair, but I know it's been 10 years. I haven't forgotten what a book is.
Please.
We suggest you begin on the left.
He doesn't have any bite marks on him or nothing, so he's not being fed upon.
That's because he's running it. He's running the house. Claudia, 1917. What if it's her diary? So he starts from the right, of course, because he didn't want to do as they suggested.
Yeah, of course.
Paris, November 14, 1940. We arrived in Paris. What a relief. The whole dead cell feels revitalized head to toe. So it's almost like their diaries.
Yeah,
or some of them.
Old passports, maybe.
He refuses to like sit down or anything either, does he?
It's always on his own terms.
Yep. It's an interesting room.
That guilt is killing him.
I can't imagine though. It's either the guilt of that or guilt of turning her into what he is, which he's not even really sure of.
Well, he wants to do that to save her.
No,
so.
I get that, but is it really salvation is the question. To me.
Okay.
The White Angel, he bit me.
He bit me. Bit me.
This my fountain? That's my... What is that?
That's the incinerator where we burn the...
We'll get to that.
Wow, she looked crazy with the eyes like that.
She does.
So you can hear me, but he can't. That make him the dumb one?
What's funny?
That would be aggravating.
He can't hear your thoughts anymore.
Oh my gosh, that'd be infuriating.
Just like a human.
I'm not human no more, am I?
No. You're a vampire.
I can see where this is going.
Exactly.
But with no secrets.
All right.
Yeah,
So what's
meanwhile,
that
the
for?
city is burning outside of those
That's where we burn
walls.
bodies.
Why do
Not
we burn
anymore.
bodies?
She got all cleaned up and everything, so time has passed. Look at it.
See each other.
They have a funny way of being nice to each other.
Uncle Les and Daddy Lou. That's still just interesting.
It's going to take me a second for me to get used to her being a child because she just doesn't look like a child.
At all.
I'm not sure how I feel about that pleated skirt.
It's chiffon. It has movement.
They are
How does he
so
know that?
random.
Back in the car, Claudia.
Claudia! Claudia! Claudia!
Uh-oh.
Claudia,
Can't
man.
have her.
No, get back here, miss.
It's like when you walk a dog and he just takes off running. Like, hey, Skippy!
Uh-oh. She's going after him.
Oh, not the constable.
Claudia! No! Don't! Not a cop!
Too late.
You're not a girl! You're the devil!
Oh my gosh.
He had time to think that.
Right?
To stop while they're alive.
Who was it that she takes after?
Not you.
You a devil.
Confusion, regret.
Look how strong he is. It's one-handed.
Like it's super easy.
Claudia.
She's still hungry.
Sorry.
What did I just say?
She has those
Don't
urges.
eat cops.
Gotta listen to your elders when they're talking.
Histrionics.
It's Some sleep is what she needs.
Sedation is what she needs.
She'll settle.
Oh, wow.
Claudia!
Wow.
It's like a puppy peeing on the rug.
Wow.
Kill juice.
Who juice?
Kilo juice or something. I don't know.
Killer? Maybe killer juice?
Coming!
She playing with the sun.
That sounds funny in French.
Tu as oublié ta jeunesse. Putain de merde! Bonne nuit!
Of course he forgot.
Bonne nuit.
He's like 5,000 years old. He doesn't remember what it's like to be a young person.
Oh, went home to God.
I could take her measurements so as not to distress her any further than she already is.
It's so soft!
Something ain't right here.
Right?
I love it, Daddy Lou. Can I get this one, please? Please?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
yeah. Yeah, I knew that was coming. But so did Louis, though. That's why he closed the blinds. I mean, the curtains.
Wrapped in pink satin and Daddy Lou's feet ain't in your face. It's just me, my pen, my brain, my heart, and the blood of the streetcar conductor I drained after he got off work.
Here's the funny thing. She can hear
Everything.
Well, Louis' thoughts is what I was going to say.
Oh, that would be okay.
She can eat it.
No.
How does it work? Love between two men.
You said that would be really gross. Like she doesn't eat people.
That's true, right?
Extravagant. I don't like seeing it.
I was thinking barbaric myself, but trafficking is one way to put it, right?
Dang, he caught that fish like it was just laying there, just chilling.
Caught up in human affairs.
Then what?
Then you.
Changed all that. Kids will do that.
It sounds kind of like a chanting.
Oh, he's doing the prayer. Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
if that was Louis doing. I didn't think Louis would have
Oh, no.
joined any kind of religion.
Dubai is a child, Mr. Malloy. No one's a native.
That's interesting. Never heard that before. I guess when compared to other ancient cities, yeah. I didn't really get a chance to process any of that.
He's taking notes on things that he finds out about the household help. So whatever, maybe it's the religion thing or something, but he has notes on him.
Okay.
I have my own room now, which is good because Daddy Lou can be smothering just as Uncle Les can get crotchety. And well, sometimes a door can be a best friend.
Very true, right?
Teenage years, huh?
Back in the teenage years, that would be quite a bit.
So
That
you
and
wouldn't
toddler.
believe how time flies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look, they got 3. She got 3.
I love it. Oh. How old are you again, Uncle Les?
160.
159.
Emerald. It's my birthstone.
It's the first time we've heard his age reference.
We eat,
Neferat, I think it was called or something like
we
that.
I
laugh,
remember.
we
That would be
sleep,
interesting to watch.
we love.
Say again.
I for some reason, I just felt it. I felt it.
Just when he thought he was done clinging to mortality, right?
Yep.
Or that mortal life.
Humanity, yeah.
Steer, steer.
But we're immortal!
You can still smash your pretty little head and it take long Del months to recover. Eyes on the road.
Was that a cat?
Yes. Or a possum.
And likely to fight back. You must be most ferocious.
Dang. Stoke those fires.
She's all excited. Well, it's the best blood of the blessed, of the best.
That's nice. Where'd you learn
What did
that?
he call it? Extravagant? That would be so creepy. You look out and she's just standing there like this staring at you.
Nice.
But she's also at that age of, she's at that age of curiosity.
Oh yeah, she's fascinated, but still, it would still be very creepy. Yeah.
Stop Nene. Calm me down, Jones. You all right? You look a little sick there.
You look a little sick there.
Diary, his name is Charlie. He's got veins like rivers. They flow right doing his arms.
You and I back there?
Veins like rivers.
You got veins like rivers.
I ain't wanting to be 8.
And a little hint, 3. Ah!
In the house. What did we say about skipping?
Oh, he's slick with it though. Look.
No running, young lady.
Oh man, that's so adorable.
Claudia, are you blocking me? This is your father speaking.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That probably made her sick as a dog.
Yeah, I remember Louis said it tastes to him like paste now. So I wonder if it tastes strange to her.
I wasn't a babe.
He reminds me of like a young Michael Jackson a little bit.
The horse is like, hey man, get away.
Mm-hmm. Run while you can. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
She's draining him. Wow. Wow.
Horse is like, got to be more careful.
Wow. You feel loose. Ate him. How did she not realize that that's what she did?
Caught in the throes in the moment. Yeah, I understand both of those looks. That's a tough lesson. If you're gonna live that life, yeah. What a scene. Goodness. What a scene.
Huh.
Yo, they don't disappoint. They do not.
I'm gonna go with you first then.
Oh,
How do you feel? I mean, let's go with Claudia.
all right.
She has been introduced.
So here's the thing. Like, I feel like there's a relationship between us and this show, right? You know, we're the show is telling us what's going on. We give ourselves to the show, and then there's like this cool little dance as we go through all of these episodes.
Okay.
And the thing about when you have a relationship is when you add somebody new to the relationship, you don't know where it's gonna go. Mm-hmm. You know, it can make the process, it can make the experience stronger, or it can make things go off of the rails. Claudia was the test for me regarding how much further we're going to maintain this joyful relationship between us and this show, because we have this important third person that came in, and she absolutely delivered. Absolutely. I am even more confident in the relationship as a viewer to this show with this extra character that's a part of the whole thing. How about you?
The funny thing is, I'm the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So as you're sitting there saying that, I'm like, I don't like so far. I don't like her dynamic added to the relationship.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like when she first came, she, with the whole little sailor outfit and, she seemed very like, I know she was supposed to be 14, but she was acting to me like she was like 5.
Okay.
And I didn't connect with that because, like you said, she seemed older appearance-wise than she was portraying. And that part was very annoying to me.
Okay.
Yeah. As it went on, I felt a little better about her, kind of. But I'm going to need some more.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll even reinforce with your statement by saying that relationship that I have with this new character, it didn't come out the gates.
Yeah.
With it being like, oh my God, this is the perfect piece that I didn't realize I missed.
Yeah.
Because for one, the aesthetics of it seem a little off initially.
Yes.
Because she looks way too old to be 14.
Yes.
Okay. And then now that she's at this age where I guess she's supposed to be like 18, she still looks too old to kind of like be 18. That's just an impossible ask for the show creators in order to nail that, you know. So my brain kind of gave it some leniency.
I get that. And appearance-wise, I can kind of finagle it a little bit, especially now that she's supposed to be older. But at 14, no way.
Okay.
It's the way that she's acting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's her behavior. It's the way she's talking that, to me, isn't a 14 or an 18-year-old.
Okay. All right.
And just because her body is in that state, you know, I would feel like her mind would still be evolving somewhat, or even... You know, I just don't feel like she was portraying a 14 or an 18-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think for me, what sealed it was her scene that she did by herself. Because there was some cool comparisons between the first time that we see her in this childlike fashion. She's running through the house, you know, sliding across the bed, and they had the cool camera work to show the playfulness of it. And then the final scene, it's almost kind of the same way, but it's done in a like much darker kind of way. The lights are a lot darker. She's a lot more destructive. She's tearing up like the banister. And then she toys with self-destruction. You know, it's like, oh my gosh. And then I can see the two differences. For me, I could see the two differences between what the actress was portraying in this final scene and the one that she portrayed when we first got introduced to her as a child.
Yeah, and I could see that. I did like the scene where she was in the coffin writing to her diary, you know, after being distraught about killing her boyfriend.
Right.
Or, excuse me, the man that she was interested in.
Yeah, her first love.
Yeah, because they had like one date. But, you know, I loved the scene in the coffin because of her different facial expressions, her different emotions, and how quickly it went, and I found that fascinating. And not to trigger anybody, but I feel like when she was holding her arm into the light, I felt like, you know how sometimes there are people that have like cutting.
Yes.
Yeah, so things, you know, things that they self-harming behavior.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of equated that to.
Yes.
And I know that happens a lot with teenagers because I've worked in that field for a very long time. So I know that, you know, that happens a lot. When you don't really know how to deal with your emotions.
Okay.
You know, so you take it out on yourself. But so I found that part fascinating, and I did enjoy her acting in that regard.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to what is the peripheral now in this story, at least for this particular episode. And that is the relationship between Louis and Lestat. And for us, because we're parents, there's a lot of things that were said. Whoever wrote this, once again, a hat tip to the writers, because they have a very fun and interesting and unique way of showing different experiences, right? And the experience of being a parent and dealing with a child who's going through these teenage years, who has this light in their eye because they want to explore the world, who does things that gets in trouble, dealing with, like, it really, for me, it kind of hit home with that, and seeing them in another dynamic. Louis and Lestat already have a very crazily dynamic relationship, an interesting, you know, way that they're involved. But now to see them as parents with all of that stacked on top of it was like, oh wow, dude, this is a lot going on. How are you all going to cope with this?
Yeah, but I think it's super cool though, because obviously as a parent, anytime there's a child and a parenting relationship, I think about that.
Right.
Excuse me, because that's life as we know it. But the thing is, I did like. And you say you give a hat tip to the writers, I do as well, because it's like now not only have you added the dynamic of race, which we have been applauding the entire show so far.
Yeah.
Now you've added the dynamic of parenting.
Yes.
Of parenting, two people parenting one, you know, a child together, and what that looks like, and especially when there's already a strained relationship and they haven't figured out their parts in their own relationship yet. So that added part I enjoy a little bit. Is fascinating.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So there's another peripheral character that we're starting to get more and more bits and pieces of. These two peripheral characters. One is the writer, and the other one is who I'm assuming is Louis' assistant
or house manager.
House
manager assistant.
Right. But they're getting some interesting screen time, right? I'll start with the house manager, and that is that we see him praying, and he implies there's two things. A, he's praying, and then two, he's implying that Dubai, the city that they're currently in, is this young city, which leads me to believe, how old are you, my guy? You know?
Oh, that's true.
You know? And then if you are old, how in the world are you maintaining a sense of religion? You know, it's just so many like questions. Or maybe he's not old. Maybe he's able to separate himself and look through the eyes of what it means to be a vampire and see cities as these small places where people grow. Some are ancient, some are new. I don't know. I don't really know how to process this new information, but I'm happy to get these tidbits of him.
Oh, I am too, and I think the writers as well. That's why they showed the notes of him with the household help, little bits that he gets from it too, because he's completely fascinated to try to understand who this person is,
right?
Because he assumes obviously that it may or may not be his lover, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But I like him for some reason because
I
think it's because he is mysterious, and I don't know, and I'm very, very wanting to know how he lives in this world and what part he plays, right? What role?
Right. Yeah, I want more. I guess that's the overall thing.
Yeah.
And the writer himself as well. We get to see like two different versions of him, and they keep hinting on it a little bit more. You have the writer that is now, and the writer that he was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, that's like 50 years removed, half a century removed, and they're two totally different people. He has totally called Louis out on his shit repeatedly, and Louis has done the same thing. So they're both kind of like giving and taking regarding how they're processing life, their memories, and all of that other stuff.
Well, I think it's fascinating too because the writer, he keeps trying to kind of throw stuff in Louis' face, like, why didn't you tell me about these diaries before? And he's like, we were both at very different points in our life. So why would I share like so much of this very valuable information with you? I shared with you at that time what I felt was that you could, understand or grasp at that time.
Right.
And now that you're older,
right.
There are other things that I feel like I can share with you, but the timing just wasn't right. So I'm kind of curious why the writer gets so upset when he's like, well, where were these back then? And why didn't you share that with me? Or it's very different than back then. You know what I mean?
I think the brilliance in the writer is that he is in a lot of sense us. And that whatever contradictions that we may have with the storytelling or something that doesn't fit or something that we're going to make us scratch our head, he is the person within the story that can answer that question for us and answer and ask it with the same skepticism. Well, if you're going to do that, then why can't we do that? Because I promise you there's going to be viewers that are going to be doing that, the ones that are going to go over all of these pieces of the story with the fine-tooth comb.
And say, where were the diaries?
Why was this? What was that? So he kind of like he's kind of like plot armor. If there's anything that's going to be crazy, it'll be addressed through him. But yet he doesn't feel like a construct for us. He feels like a real life flesh and blood character. But I feel like that is why he's being used the way he is. Does that make sense to you guys?
I can understand that. I definitely can understand that. What did you think about his mother's passing, Louis' mother passing, and the interaction with his sister and brother-in-law?
I think that is the last shred of his humanity. The big boost to push him more towards the vampire life and vampire lifestyle, surprisingly, isn't Lestat. It's Claudia who's going to push him more towards the acceptance of this is who I am, and I can move forward from this space. Him bringing her to that ceremony is just a reinforcement of this is the path that I'm chosen. I'm sticking with it. And you can also see that with the interaction that he had with his sister, he was cruel. He was mean. He was kind of like dismissive. There were moments, I'm sure there is an echo of his humanity left from seeing his mother like that and seeing his sister, upset about the path that he's chose. But it felt like it's just that. It's just an echo. And he walks out with his future, which is Claudia.
Well, the funny thing is I didn't see it as, he was cruel to her, but I felt like it was in response to her reaction to him. Because she was the one like, we got to talk about the house. And you know what I mean? She, who is this? And do you feel like you're the right parents to have this child? So I feel like it was in response. I felt like if she would have approached him in a different way, or, you know, been happy to see him. I know that that's a stretch, but you know what I mean? Then he would have responded much differently.
Right.
But who's going to stand around and take that? You know what I mean? Like his mother passed and, you know, this is the first time you've met his daughter and you know what I mean? They're not welcoming. And I get why, but I'm just saying that I felt like it was just his response.
Yeah, and they're also, he may be fatigued too, because everything about him is an alternative lifestyle. You know, being black in America in that time period is an alternative lifestyle. Being gay is an alternative lifestyle. Being a vampire, being adopting a child is an alternative lifestyle. And everything about him contracts the norm and what is...
Contradicts.
Yes, contradicts the norm. And his family is based firmly into that contradiction. And so I'm sure he's exhausted. You know, he's like, this is my life. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. And he just doesn't feel like, we say this a lot. I don't think he has the energy to kind of deal with trying to explain or justify himself anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially to his family. So I think that that's probably extremely exhausting. You're right.
Yeah. And I think like because they had never met Claudia before either, this wasn't even him bringing Claudia to the ceremony wasn't for them at all. It was more or less, this is a learning experience. And let me show you, Claudia, how I'm going to close the door on this piece of my humanity.
Well, not only that, but I mean, that was his mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm sure there's also that paying of respect as well. I don't think it was just like a lesson for Claudia.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, he still has that tiny little piece that he wants to have that connection. And this is his daughter.
Yeah.
And that was her, well, you know, that was her grandmother.
Okay.
So I feel like it was more, for me, it was more a little bit of that.
All right, final question, and that is, now that we've got introduced to a whole new person to our vampire family, and this episode may not necessarily hit you in the right in the stride that it hit me in. Are you still excited about the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the writing. I love the character development. I love everything about it. Yeah. The intricacies, the similarities and the differences between the original movie. You know, all of that. I'm still very excited about to see where it's going. Okay. I just have to get used to this new dynamic, and that's. It's gonna be a little interesting for me, but I'm super excited. I'm super excited to keep going.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. You know, it's just somebody new added to our, like I said, our little vampire
you know how
family.
I feel about change.
Hey, let us know what you think in the comments. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? What did we miss? Thank you so much for hanging out. If you need to catch up with some of the previous episodes, there'll be a link in the description for those. And if you want to get to know Mikel Claire a little bit better,
Snooty Vegans is my YouTube channel.
Bang, bang.
I had to sing it for some reason. I don't know why. It just seemed more theatrical, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm really a 12-year-old in a such and such year old body.
Age 12.
No, I'm not. So yeah, Snooty Vegans, Lock Journey, Vegan Journey, Life as You Know It. Link in description.
Yeah. Hey, make sure you give us those thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We will catch you on the next episode.